A video was posted which the Home Office is demanding should be taken down. I've just reposted it. It was posted by an organisation called Freedom from Torture. Now, that organisation used to be called the Medical Foundation for the Care of Victims of Torture, and it's an organisation which actively helped my partner Najati, who was tortured in 2001 in Greece. And that, together with a number of other charities, was extremely efficacious in getting the Greek government to admit responsibility, and the European Court of Human Rights pushed through a case where the Greek government was then informed that it had to change the law, as well as admit responsibility and accept that people acting on behalf of the Greek government were acting perniciously. All that was done, I'm very pleased to recount. So I don't really like any organisation that criticises a charity that actually works very hard to help people who otherwise would not be in receipt of help. Now, Fanny Zimmerbaum, she's now known as Miss Salter, was born in Brussels in 1940 to Polish Jewish parents, and Miss Salter was 3 months old when Belgium was invaded by the Nazis, and she escaped to France with her mother and sister before being taken in by the Red Cross and then taken to America in 1943. She was eventually reunited with her family in London in 1947, so she is a Holocaust survivor. And she is the person who confronted Suella Braverman. Now, the Home Office says that the video, which I've reposted, is misleadingly edited and removes much of the Home Secretary's response. Well, I'm sure it does remove some of the Home Secretary's response, which is feeble, but it still keeps the words which she says. I will not apologise for the words I've been using. Invasion. She didn't use the word swarm. Joan Salter, who's 83, did actually mention that Suella Braverman used the word swarm. That was actually a word used by David Cameron. But she certainly used the word invasion to describe migrants crossing the channel, and more than that, she specifically targeted Albanians, and members of her team have since gone online again to say that they are looking for Albanians. No, they should be looking for criminals, they should be looking for miscreants, not Albanians. To be targeting one particular nation, one particular group, is to be acting in a purely racist and abhorrent way. It's wrong. It's wrong. And for this to be driven by people who have political power, people that we have elected to political power, is simply abhorrent. When I hear you using words against refugees like swarms and an invasion, I'm reminded of the language used to dehumanize and justify the murder of my family and millions of others. Why do you find the need to use that kind of language? And Miss Braverman did not apologize for her use of that kind of language, so it doesn't matter how she is edited, she still stands by the use of that language. Miss Braverman used the language invasion. And I think that long ago she should have apologized for that. She hasn't. And indeed now Jenrick has gone on. Jenrick seemed to be a moderate. And this is all a diversion from the things that the government has not got right. And we should not be diverted by ridiculous nonsense, which amounts to racism, when we have problems with the cost of living, when we have problems with the NHS, when we have problems implementing Brexit. I'm sure I never voted for Brexit, but I'm sure that a uh, a government that had its eye on the ball could actually sort something out. This government doesn't have its eye on the ball. This government has its eye on demonizing individuals and groups of people, and that is wrong. That is wrong. And the footage does not represent, as the Home Office says, an interaction about a sensitive area of policy. We have asked the organisation who posted the video to take it down. That organisation certainly should not, and I don't intend to either.